Guys, gravity knives have made a big reemergence into the knife community. And the problem with them for a lot of years is that they were not very well made. They were cheap. They were kind of crappy. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this around and we're going to take a look at one of the better new ones, the Recomended Swordfish. So buckle up because here it comes. All right, guys, this knife we're going to talk about really did kind of surprise me. And it's the Recomended Swordfish. And it didn't surprise me because it's a gravity knife. You know, there's a handful of companies now that are making gravity knives. And this is a very, very good one. Really, really like it. It's not because it's a gravity knife. It's because this company, Recomended, is more well known on my channel as a budget knife company. And that's not a knock. Even their budget stuff, which is extremely affordable, has been incredibly well done. I love this knife. There's a reason it's still here. We saw this a long time ago. Their stuff is amazing. This is a very high quality knife that does not fall into the category I typically would associate with Recomended. So it's titanium. All that milling on this is beautifully done. Reminds me of Kubert. It's got carbon fiber inlays. It is a very unique design on a gravity knife. And I really dig it. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to get some specs. We'll do some size comparison. We'll talk about the gravity knives in general. And then we'll talk about the little negative things. We're going to do all that good stuff. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way. So as far as specs, you're looking at titanium M390. It is a gravity knife, carbon fiber inlay on this. It's kind of an out the front. It's got kind of the same mechanism as you would see on like an OTF out the front. Overall length on this is 7.8 inches with a 3.15 inch blade length. You've got a handle 4.65 inches and your weight on this is coming in at 4.35 ounces. So it's really not that heavy. It is a flat grind and the M390 is coming in at 59 to 61. So this comes in a couple different versions. Now, the only place I found this available was on Recommened's website, and they're right now at $278. So it's not a cheap knife, but it's also very well made. Let's do some quick size comparisons and get the rest of the boring stuff out of the way. Your first knife for size comparison is the Spyderco PM2. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I do this so you have a visual representation. I can tell you all day what the length is, but if you get to see it next to something you might know, it's easier. Your next knife for size comparison? Benchmade 940, probably one of the best known knives in the knife industry. You can see almost one for one. They are very, very similar in length and overall size as well. So, and then your final knife for size comparison is the legendary Chris Reeves large Sebenza. This is a large 21. You can see it's not that much bigger than the Swordfish. So let's get this out of the way and we're going to talk about this knife because I am impressed with it. So this is one of those, oh, I forgot to grab these. Sorry about that. I forgot to grab our rating mechanism here. This is one of those knives that kind of bridges that gap between functionality, fidgety, and aesthetics. So you've got this gorgeously done titanium handles on it. And that's not an inlay. That is just milled into the titanium. That's milled that way. Titanium scales on this. It is a two-piece, well, a multiple piece construction on this. You've got this gorgeous carbon fiber inlay on this that is, I mean, it's beautiful. And you get kind of that same appearance that you get on this. Like I said, I can't get over how much that reminds me of the old video game Kurt Kubert. This has got a unique mechanism on this. This one locks as opposed to some of the other gravity knives, most notably the older EXO gravity knives, which I love. This has a lock on it that locks the blade in place. So as opposed to just needing to hold onto the handle for the original version of the EXO gravity knife, this locks closed, locks open. You can carry this in your pocket clip. Very versatile way to carry it. And those little wings lock into the slots on this blade. Speaking of which, this is a very good blade. I did cut with this a good bit. I was trying to be careful. I didn't want to scratch this up. This is Jared's knife over at Knives Knives. And it's a very nice looking knife, so I didn't want to damage it at all, but it does cut well. Really nice behind the edge thickness on this. 59 to 61 is not a horrible heat treat on M390. You can go a little higher on the Rockwell, but it came with a very, very good edge, and that's still the factory edge. But the overall profile of the blade cuts really well. I like the shape of the blade. It's very, very good. And in hand, you get that feel that you get with a really well done OTF, where it's it just pretty much feels good in any direction. But then you've got some of this little jimping on these wings here, which, like I said, are the locking mechanism for this knife. So they're kind of dual purpose. It gives you a thumb ramp and a finger guard, so it does feel really secure. And then the action on it is good. Like, it surprisingly good on a knife that has no real mechanics in it. It just slides out. Don't need to lubricate this at all. It just runs dry. And then the pocket clip is really comfortable in hand, so you don't have a lot going on with that. The addition to the fuller, the addition of the fuller on it is an attractive addition. And then you've got this blasted finish blade with a satin flat up here that is just done really well, really well. You don't have a lot of distal taper on this knife, but it's not too thick behind the tip if you do need to do some piercing. A lot of flat, a little bit of belly, kind of the best of both worlds. And just like I said, overall super attractive. I like the fact that they went ahead and did give you a lanyard hole that's built into the backspacer on this. And for a knife that is this thick, it's really light. And I mean, I guarantee that's because all of this is hollow and you've not got a real thick blade on this. As far as in use and cutting, I found it really comfortable in hand. I didn't get a lot of fatigue because it is a nice thick handle. And so you're not having to squeeze down too far and engage too many muscles. Your hands don't get tired when you're cutting a lot with this. I cut a ton of cardboard with this, and the finish held up very well. And like I said, it is fun and fidgety. Remet also provided you with a pocket slip. Now, I didn't do it. I imagine you could just take this pocket clip off and then slide this in this way, down in. But I didn't take the pocket clip off because I didn't want to lose screws or anything like that. But you can put this in this way in this pocket slip and carry it in your pocket with that pocket clip on that. I don't know why you would want to, but I think you can just take that pocket clip off and it's meant to drop in this way with a spot for the button on it. So really cool knife. The problem is they're not easy to find. I'll try and put a link to Remet down below if I can find it. The only place I found it was on their website. So any sales I make on this, I wouldn't make any money. Now, with any knife, there's going to be some problems, and especially with gravity knives and things like this, there's going to be some issues with this. So let's flip this around and do flip side of the story, flip side of the knife. Guys, completely forgot to mention, this carries in your pocket really well. It sits nice and deep. I meant to mention that on the good side of the stuff. But there, like I said, some negatives on this. We'll do some little stuff first. I wish, they had a prime opportunity to give you that pop of carbon fiber on both sides of the knife. Just a little bit of symmetry would have been great. They could have just slotted it and put the button on there. I don't think it would have really lifted that up too much further. They could have milled that down farther and then put just, it would have looked nice with the carbon fiber on both sides. Next thing, it is a little slick. When you're holding it, it is a little slick. You do get, this is one of the few knives that I say that like these cutouts here that are basically jimping, they get you a little bit more and having jimping in a few places. But still, even though we had some rain here recently, I was carrying this and it was in my hand and I was like, wow, that does feel slick in hand. So just a little thing on it. This is an attractive knife. I wouldn't want to change it, but just going into that, you might want to know that. The next thing, which kind of is a big deal, the mechanism on this, like I said, it's a gravity knife. And all gravity knives are going to suffer from the fact that there's no driving force. Not an OTF, it's not a double action, there's no spring in there. So you can bump this and not have it deploy. And if you do have to hold it down to deploy it. You can't really flip this one as easily as you can the XO. The problem I have is that right there. This one will partially lock and you think you've got your knife all the way open and you can see it slides a little bit and sometimes you'll miss it and you got to pull it out a little bit further. It'll stop part way. Now it doesn't damage the edge at all, but it can be finicky on that. And I wish that there was a different way of doing this. I really don't. And I don't like the fact, it's just me. I think when I hold it like this, I think it would feel better if those wings that locked in went in further. As comfortable as that is, I think that the closed position of those, just holding it like this, feels better. I wish it was the same in both positions. And as you can see, it stands out a little bit further on that one. Other than that, the only other thing I can think is this is, I don't like the fact you've added springs and things to this where like a gravity knife is supposed to be simple. You know, gravity knives were designed to be used by paratroopers and things like that as a simple knife. And this starts adding in some of the problems you get with other OTF knives, where you got springs and stuff that can gum up the works a little bit. Not as bad as like an actual double action OTF. Is it a yup or a no? Well, I mean, as far as a gravity knife, it's pretty good. It's a very good gravity knife, and it is well done. If you're just looking at it aesthetically to add something to your collection, it's amazing. And I'm very, very impressed. I'm gonna send the guys over at Remet this video because I absolutely love this thing. Should you pick one up? Depends. Is a gravity knife something that's in your wheelhouse? There's some issues with legalities in a lot of places where you can carry it, but absolutely check one out. Guys, that's it on this one. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. Yeah, I like gravity knives for the fun factor. They do provide a bit of a functionality, and for the purpose that they were designed and made, absolutely, they did fit the bill. I find them to be more reliable than the push button, or I'm sorry, not push button, but the double action out the fronts. They're not as finicky. So lots of fun. If you're looking for one, there's like I said, there's a couple I recommend, this one and the XO. But other than that, guys, that's it on this one. There may be a delay in content because I'm probably starting that new job hopefully soon. So you may have some weeks where you don't get any content. Go back and watch the other stuff. If you guys want to support the channel, ton of affiliate links down below. If you're looking for knives, go to Blade HQ, Knives Ship Free, GP Knives, all of them down below. I have specific companies. 2 of the links down there. Oh, I'm sorry, Amazon store. Take the Amazon store. Use it for all of your Amazon shopping. 2 of those links down there will save you 10% simply by using them. Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail, awesome companies owned by awesome people. I know both of them. They're great people. I have got a coupon code of crazysharp, all one word, that will save you 10% at Fair & Forge Knife Works, KATSU Knives, Rosecraft Blades, Otter Arms gun stands, Otter EDC fidget things. I have a bunch of them. I'm working on getting more of them. So just use it at all your vendors, see if that coupon code works. I have a membership down below. You can get in on early access to videos, exclusive content. I'm starting to do giveaways soon for the paying members, the premium tier guys. And there's a public Discord down below. If you've got something on you that you're carrying, a knife that you've not seen on the channel yet, you can reach out to me through the DM function. It says join the community down below. Hit me up and we'll see if we can't get it to me for a review. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.